It's your first time at the podium.
It is. It's a little weird. It's good to be back, and just it's different, so it's something to get used to.
Justin, obviously this weekend you face a front four of talented pass rushers, Chase Young. Kind of what have you seen from them on film?
Yeah, they're a really incredible front seven. They're about as good as it gets, and they've got some guys in coverage too that can play pretty good football. And they're a defense that flies around and makes plays, and they tackle well. And that's what we talked about this morning. And Coach Joe said it. They tackle really well, and they're a good defense, and they need all of our attention. So we've got to have a good week of practice.
Is it similar to kind of facing Tampa's front four last year? I mean, I know it was last year, but is it kind of similar to that?
Yeah, personality-wise, they're both very good teams. Structurally and schematically, they're a little different, but they both like to get after the passer.
Justin, how much your ability to read defenses improved from last season? Is that something you can measure right now?
I think it's just experience. Being out there and seeing different defenses and going through it and being able to rep different plays and have a sense of being comfortable out there is huge. And having an offseason to go through the entire playbook and to be able to go up against a really good defense in our defense, I think that taught me a lot.
Justin, just going back on learning the playbook, you've done it pretty often the last 6 years. Why do you think you've been so good at learning a new scheme?
That's a good question. I think it kind of goes back to school and having good study habits and being able to, try and pick things up quickly. And you have to work hard. And you have to put the work in to get it figured out. And it's never easy. It's, and I wouldn't really want it any other way. And it's obviously a tough scheme that we have to learn. But all the guys here, they put in a lot of effort. And, I think it's been going pretty well so far.
Justin, last year you were here and Derwin obviously got hurt during training camp. What has it meant for this defense and for this team to have Derwin for the start of the season?
Yeah, he does so much for the defense. He's a vocal leader, and he's a guy that flies around and is able to cover guys, able to make tackles. They're going to pressure him off the sides, and they're going to do a bunch of things with him that, not too many safeties can do. And he's a special guy, special player, special person in that locker room, and he's been able to do so much for our team.
A lot of players play long careers with the same coach. What's it like for you to experience a coaching change so early in your career?
Well, fortunately, I've been through that before, and I've kind of seen that aspect of football. And it's obviously a tough situation when you lose a coach, a coaching staff that you become close with. It's never easy, but you got to look at it as it's a good opportunity to learn more about football. And all these schemes and all the things that they bring in are going to be different, and you get to see more football. You get to learn more, and I think that kind of aspect of my background's helped me.
Is the victory brisket tradition going to continue this season?
I hope so. We'll see. Game time decision.
All your coaches have talked about what a meticulous note taker you are. Just how much of that is, for you knowing certain keys on Sunday, but also now knowing that the offensive system's going to run through you, communicating it with coaches and giving the feedback that way?
Yeah, I think it's huge because I need to have a great grasp of the offense, like you said, and I think notes are big because I like to go over my notes, and if they're clean and they're neat, I know exactly where everything is, and so I can look back and if, say, for example, we're playing Washington later in the year, I've got a notebook full of the stuff that we went through, the plays that we learned, and kind of all their stuff on their personnel. So I think that's a huge start for taking notes, and then kind of like you said, having a good feel for the offense and being able to step up, and with all these kills and these alerts, having a good feel for the offense so that when we go out there, we have a chance to win.
Just going up against a defensive line this talented, obviously you and Corey haven't had the operation going in a game yet. Do you look forward to this as an opportunity to sort of test the operation between you and Corey and even the rest of the offensive linemen and go up against like a group this talented?
Yeah, I think it's huge. And I think fortunately we were able to go up against the 49ers kind of in those joint practices, and we're able to see some live reps. And although I wasn't live, we were able to feel the pressure and kind of the procedure of going through each play and being able to point, redirect, things like that. And it's been great in camp, and he's an outstanding player. He knows so much, and so I know that he's going to put in a lot of good work this week, so that come Sunday we're ready to go.
I think at the start of any season, the big question everybody wants to know is, can this be a Super Bowl contending team?
That's not for me to decide. Our play will set that standard, and hopefully we just go out there, execute, do things well, listen to our coaches, and play for one another. And whatever happens, and that kind of lies outside of our control. But all that we can control is our effort, our attitude, showing up to work each week with a good attitude, and go out there and have fun.
What is a successful season for you guys? What would a successful season for you guys be?
To be the best team that we can be, to show up every game, give our best, get better, to continue to stay healthy, do our best to, avoid injuries and do all that stuff, and then execute, go out there, listen to our coaches, kind of like I just said, and it's up to us to play well and to work hard and do all those things.
How do you feel your relationship?
That you guys met at a golf tournament in the offseason. How was that like meeting Ryan Fitzpatrick? You guys talk about football?
It was awesome. He's such a nice guy, and the things he's been able to do on the football field are incredible. And I've grown up watching him and have been a big fan of his for a long time. And being able to talk with him and just kind of talk about what's going on in the offseason, how he's been doing, everything like that, it was really cool.
Justin, something that the Saints were notorious for when Joe was there and Drew obviously was like game planning like late into the week, potentially adding plays on Saturday night and just kind of having like a really malleable game plan that could change any time. Is that the plan for you guys to have a similar sort of process in terms of the game plan offensively?
I'm not sure. We got the game plan this morning, and we've been looking at it, and I think that's something that we'll have to address later on in the season or later on in the week. But he's been really good about installing, prepping, and we've been watching a lot of film the past couple of weeks, so we'll see.
How's your relationship with the receiving, with Keenan, Mike Williams, and Josh Palmer? How's that grown through training camp, mini camp, and training camp?
I think it's only going to get better. We've spent so much time together, whether it's on the football field, the film room, the weight room, just spending time with those guys, get to know each other. I think that's huge for when you step on the field and you start talking about timing and what you need from them and what they need from you. So having a good relationship, being able to communicate exactly what you want on each route, I think that's the standard.
And how has the relationship with you and Josh Palmer grown over that same amount of time?
Yeah, Josh has been awesome. He stepped in immediately. He's been able to pick up things very quickly. He's been thrown out there, and a lot of tough situations that he's had to go through, and he's fought through, and he's done really well with all the adversity. So he's one of those guys that I really admire out there.
Compared to the coaching changes at Oregon and now here, how has your relationship with Brandon grown, maybe compared to like when Willie came in or Cristobal?
Yeah, I really enjoyed all my time with all those coaches, and Coach Taggart, Coach Cristobal. I learned so many things from them, and kind of like I said earlier, different schemes, different schematics. It's a good opportunity to learn from them. But with Coach Staley came in, he built a relationship immediately with all his players, and that's something that he really wanted to set up. And I remember getting the call maybe 30 or 45 minutes after everyone found out, and that meant a lot to me for him to reach out and let me know. But he's done an incredible job. He comes in our quarterback rooms all the time and talks about defenses and sometimes things that get too complex for us. But it's really fun to listen to.
This team has been bogged down by slow starts in recent years, 0-4 one year. How much? Had difficulty recovering from that. How much is that on your mind?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
This team has had a lot of early season struggles in recent seasons. One year they went 0-4 to start. It's been difficult for them to get back on track after that. How aware are you of that, and how much are you thinking about getting up to it?
That's something you always think about, but I was only here last year and really kind of focused on my time at Oregon, my time here, and it's just something you have to build on. And I know that we got the guys and the talent here. We just have to go out and execute, and that's ultimately what it comes down to.